When it comes to gamers, most people think that the hours spent in front of the screens playing games are the reason gamers all around the world have gotten the stereotype of being overweight and lazy. But in reality, the games aren't the problem. The fitness industry is and always has been. Hi, hello, for those of you who are new here. I am Coach Casey, and I am a personal trainer and nutrition coach that works specifically for gamers and have designed everything I do as a gamer myself. And I get the question all of the time, how did you become a personal trainer and nutrition coach that works with gamers? Gamers don't want to change. Gamers don't want to make a difference. Gamers don't want to get fit and healthy. Jacked gamers, now that's a funny thought. All of these things come up all of the time when I tell people that not only am I a personal trainer and nutrition coach, because let's face it, I don't really look like one right now, but also that I work with gamers. Gamers aren't typically the type of client you expect to see in the nutrition world, but I love it. I am one, and I think we deserved our own little coach, which is why I became one. In the process of becoming one, I had to create my own protocol, and that protocol was Level Up. Yes, it is a gaming metaphor, but hold on with me while I explain everything about Level Up and how it helps gamers not only reach their health and fitness goals, but rank up into the elite ranks of the gaming world as well. The first step of the Level Up protocol began with, well, me. In 2019, before I got any of my certifications, I was just a newly married, extremely lost 22, 23-year-old that needed to find some way to get healthier without making my anxiety shoot through the roof. I had gyms available to me. I could afford them, but I was terrified of them, and I felt like I had no idea what I was doing. So off to Google I went. I found the Switch version of Wii Fit in the form of purchasing Ring Fit Adventure. Now, I've talked about this game ad nauseum on this channel, so I'm not going to go too far into what Ring Fit Adventure is, but that game, plus a few other Nintendo Switch games, is what started all of this. I needed a way for fitness to be fun. As someone who grew up as a competitive dancer that didn't really understand traditional workout culture, I needed fun things. Video games like Just Dance even would have been better to me than a treadmill in a gym. And I've met a lot of gamers along the way that feel the same way. Whether it be gym anxiety, keeping them from entering proximity, the cost, or a variety of other things, there are many reasons gamers fear the gym. And I don't blame them. As a coach in this space, the fitness industry has not always been welcoming to newcomers. Despite the fact that we say the gym is for everybody, everybody needs to work on their health and fitness in some way, shape, or form, there are a lot of people in this space that will judge and film and do things that I find deplorable inside of gyms, making others feel uncomfortable and not want to come into this fitness space. Which is bringing me to the future of mixing gaming and fitness. Despite my own personal anecdote, which is what started this whole journey, there is also a lot more research going into the connection between health and fitness and high-ranking gamers. As we start to look at high competitive gamers treating themselves more like athletes, as I've mentioned in a video previously on this channel, you can start to see the connections between the benefits of getting healthier as a gamer and the benefits they bring to your actual gaming. So not only are you helping your physical character, but you're also helping your in-game character. But if you want to know more about those cases and studies, I have a whole video of it that I will link below in the description. Now, on to my level up protocol. When designing the level up protocol, one of the first things I knew I needed to tackle was the thought process that gaming was the problem, when in reality, it was lack of options that actually interested gamers. When you look at how fitness is traditionally marketed, it's not the most interesting thing in the world. You hear about macros and calories and lifting and cardio, and sometimes people in this space are too smart for their own good and don't know how to explain all of the science behind what we do at a level that is understandable by everyone. And that's a problem with us in the fitness industry, not the consumer. So when I went to create the first phase of the level up protocol, I knew it needed to be simple. And I could compare that to the tutorial of a new video game. If you jump straight into a game and never having touched the tutorial that you've never played before, the likelihood is you are not going to know what the commands are, what the controls are, how to navigate, where is your map. And that's why the first phase of level up is literally called the tutorial. In the tutorial phase, this is where I take my clients through the tutorial of health and fitness. This is where we focus on creating the habits that you don't already have, like drinking enough water, getting 8 hours of sleep, starting to figure out what type of nutrition plans work for you. What are your goals? What type of training are you looking to get into? Whether it be weightlifting, training for weight loss, maybe incorporating running training, whatever it is, we start to build up that tutorial and build that consistency. And that is why it's called the tutorial, because without this phase, you won't be successful in the rest of the game to get to the boss. The second phase of this level up protocol is where I lose a lot of people, not gonna lie. It's where my clients tend to struggle the most, because as a gamer myself, it's also where I struggle. It's the phase I hate the most when I'm in a training phase where I want to build, where I want to go, because I want things to change constantly, just like they do in my games. But unfortunately, I have to do the thing that not only do I hate in real life, but I hate in games too, which is the grind. Grinding our way through our levels and our XP sucks. I don't like grinding to rank up. I don't like grinding to take on the next boss, because let's be real, grinding is boring, but it's a necessary step to take to get to that boss in your game, and it's a necessary step to get to that boss in real life. The grind phase is the phase where we're not really changing a ton. We've built those habits and those skills that we needed from the tutorial and brought them into the grind with us, and now we're just doing the work. You're gonna get new training inside of this phase, but for the most part, your nutrition is just going to adapt as your body adapts. You're not changing a lot of habits, there's not a lot of new, and it's just boring. It's the boring work, the grind, whatever you want to call it. It's the necessary step you have to take to level up your character to get to the boss. And then phase 3. When I was really thinking about phase 3, I had to think about real life. I had to think about what happens after the grind. What happens when we take on the final boss? And in the fitness space, that final boss is being able to maintain whatever it is your goal was. If you wanted to get jacked and huge, and that's where you want to stay and your body feels comfortable, you have to know how to maintain that without gaining extra weight or losing too much on the back end. But the one type of client that typically struggles the most in the boss battle phase is your weight loss clients. Statistically, a lot of the weight loss that is successful is only successful for a short term. Most people who lose the weight eventually put it all back on, which is why the boss battle is quite honestly the most important part of the protocol, but also of the game. You can't beat the game without beating the boss. And you can't beat your weight loss goal without knowing how to maintain it, because then it's just a forever goal. So your boss battle phase is typically where I would take clients through how to do a lot of these things on their own, so that if they didn't want to pay me anymore, they didn't have to. They will know how to adjust their macros and calories as necessary if their goals change. If they go from being a weight loss focus to maybe a muscle building focus or a maintenance focus, where they want to do nothing other than maintain that number on the scale and the number on their clothes. There are so many different variations of what the boss battle may look like, but once you tackle your goal, you have to know how to continue on with the game. And that's what that boss battle phase all is about. We grinded to get to the point where we're beating it. We beat it. And now we've got post game. And that is my entire secret sauce, if you will. This is what I take all of my clients through as a gamer. Obviously, these phases look different for every client that comes in my door, but I had gamer thought process in mind when I created this because I am a gamer who created it. Fitness is no fun when it's just numbers and beratement and dude bro science, if you will. Not that the dude bro science isn't important, because it is the backbone of everything I teach. But simply spouting off dude bro science and telling you that seed oils are bad and dyes are bad and fats are bad is not going to get you anywhere. Honestly, it's probably going to get you right back to where you started. So at the end of the day, the fitness industry and the way we market fitness to other people who aren't in our space have always been the problem. Gamers were never the problem. And our hobby, gaming, was also never the problem. And that's why I created Level Up. I wanted something that had my weird hyper-focused journey in mind, and a journey that I understood. Because when you talk to 2019 me, pre all my certifications, and told me about metabolic adaptation and even macros back then were like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Or fat loss versus weight loss. There was no difference to me back then. And those are the type of people that I want to work with. The me's of the world that couldn't care less about the nuanced deep dives in the science of food and exercise, but just want to live a little healthier, feel a little better in their gaming chair, and be better for their future selves. I'm not looking to create a jacked up army. I'm just looking to change a few gamers' lives.